I've heard a couple casters refer to them as bird bangs because they're like flashbangs, but it's a bird. I like the way it rolls off the tongue, but I mean, we're gonna have to call them the hawk. Hawk out.
Guiding light.
Guiding light, but it's still it's a hawk. Anyway, regardless, and obviously they give you intel too, because when they go off and she says blinded, you don't get any intel outside of that. You just get a good idea of where somebody is. And I mean, if you're going to be running Sova on both of these teams, you don't necessarily need more intel than that, but I mean, it never really necessarily hurts to have it. Austin's going to flash out and head over to Tree and do some damage before he tries to close the door. And then there goes the hot hands for him to get back to as much full health as he can. Hiko dueling with Caboose over by Catwalk, and he manages to walk away with that one as 100 Thieves are looking to try and capitalize off of the first set of pistol rounds. Great jump from Asuna onto Victor as he's going to play off of this ice wall. One middle piece has been cut away, allowing further entry from Envy, but Asuna doesn't want them to make it through. Down goes the flames, the hot hands, and everybody from 100 Thieves is...
We're all stacked up on Tree. Easiest smoke of Nitro's career. And that cut off and controlled A site so drastically, Envy really just didn't have a lot of chance on the retake. Also, they tapered the retake. There's one at a time trying to retake in through the smoke or push through the door. I don't know. Not ideal, that's for sure. Now Envy find themselves on the back foot.
And Envy's not going to go with a buy at all, is what we tend to see on the second round. They're just going to go with classics. A frenzy in the hands of FNS as he looks towards these archways that Asuna is playing around. Down in front of him, there's a fireball, a blaze, a molly, whatever you'd like to call it. Out goes the blaze wall as well, and it's a reposition from the Phoenix on defense. Asuna's still just going to wait inside of that little cubby that you can see by the archway as we talked about. Meanwhile, FNS is stalling all by himself over by B. Not too far away from him is Caboose, and if the push is going to come over towards A, well, Envy's going to have to rotate pretty quickly.
Here it comes. And again, it's that Tree presence. No one by heaven. Opno with the entry. It's the curveball from Victor to counter, and he's not going to be able to get anything out of that. Cornered now, and there it is. Final kill on that entry. Ethan also gets one by mid from Tiles. Now it's just Caboose and FNS, but they don't have a lot of chance. At least FNS is going to get Nitro on the B lurk, but really, in this 1 versus 4 with 10 HP, no real hope, and he's going to express his dissatisfaction with the situation.
That it brings all individual styles, and it's interesting to see the way that teams adapt. In this particular case, these two teams do tend to play relatively similarly in regards to the actual mechanics of the game, though 100 Thieves usually a little bit better when it comes to being labeled by their opponents sometimes as a scrim team. First bout of action, by the way, is Ethan trading himself out for Caboose. Raise down for the count from Envy.
Ball out here from Asno, but he's met with his own for counter actually from Victor. So it's the back and forth of those curveballs preventing any real pressure. And it'll be a rotate over to B, as is 100 Thieves tradition. They'll have to cut off somebody at mid if they want to have hope of winning this round, though, because Envy are going to be good on that retake.
Waiting. FNS is going to be the one person to watch this. Got a Vandal in hand. Might actually see the head here as the pre-fire goes in. He does indeed. Won't be able to capitalize on more than one as 100 Thieves continue their assault on this site. Victor and Mummy will now need to retake as they find themselves in a rough spot. Asuna on the run it back, finds the Astra, but he gets out-dueled by Mummy. That's fine, though, because you've got another opportunity to do some more damage. Spike is down, by the way, so Envy have the clock working against them. Victor creeping up, waiting, watching, takes one onto Asuna, looks at round the corner, cannot connect onto Nitro, or at least not do enough damage. I mean, now needs to make a choice. Do I pre-fire? I do indeed. And he walks away with it. A big potential moment. He's running out of time, though. He knows that he's nearing the point of no return, and he'll go on a solo mission as he tries to bait it out, but the time...
You know, put that man count really low for Envy. The aggression here from Envy as well, up through main, and it's gonna work out for Asuna, actually. Beautiful curveball. Will he get a third? Almost. And he's gonna actually. Look at that. The aggressive peek out from Envy.
Have a fighting chance. You're back at square one. So now we're just going to do this over in this endless loop of 2 rounds as it's again a full buy for Envy. They're going to look for their very first round. 100 Thieves are no stranger to taking a while to get their way onto the scoreboard, and yet they still hang tough in most of these matchups. Envy's going to have to learn a thing or two for them. And, well, they might have to do a little bit more learning than that as they lose Finesse, but Mummy, well, he refrags onto Ethan.
And That's an important one. He'll get a second shot as well, but it's the back and forth that leaves 100 Thieves in the man advantage here by 1. Mummy with the op up still, though, and he's going to be able to plant that, or going to be able to, excuse me, peek from defender spawn. Plant going down here for Hiko, and Nitro with good cover deep in sight. Mummy gets his 3rd kill with the operator. He's going to have to find an ace to win this one. He does have Cosmic Divide, but it's not going to be too useful in this situation. He might be able to plant it somewhere, but he's more likely just to try and take the fight directly. Creeping up the lane, switches out, fakes the shot to try and cover the sound of the switch on the Vandal. Now that he's got it, he fakes the drop as well with the jump. He keeps trying to force 100 Thieves to peek off the sound cues, but they're not falling for the bait. They know they don't need to. And now, Mummy will finally decide to take his operator and run for the hills. He doesn't really have a choice, as he can't get anyone from 100 Thieves to take a fight.
Well, this is the 3rd save so far that we've seen come out of Envy over your team is essentially going to be cannon fodder. At least hope that they're not going to be, but a lot of times those rounds tend to play out in that exact way. So for 100 Thieves, they'll get control of mid. It's a real mid component of this map. Though, they'll lose a bit of their footing as Caboose is just raining hellfire down upon them. 2 big kills. This is what Envy needs. There's a lockdown in play that's coming in from Envy that'll try their best to hold off 100 Thieves. Asana's next in line of fire. Victor wins that one, Spectre in hand, and immediately, oh, he might have another gun at his disposal. Blaze wall goes up. Hiko is locked out. He's in a 1v5. Terrible spot to find yourself in.
Yeah,
Go ahead. No, please, I beg of you.
No, by all means, Parker, please.
Okay, fine, I guess I'll go.
The 1 versus 5.
And Victor now in a 2v4. Ice wall will stop Victor. He's quick enough to be able to shoot away at it, and then through the floor towards hell, he'll get dragged down by Ethan, who's down below. Crashies will now need to retake. Was all a flawless round previously? Well, it comes close this time around. 100's odd a bunch in their matchup against Sentinels is how 100 Thieves are very proficient at sending 1 or 2 of their agents over towards a bomb site, or rather a site, pardon me, towards the site, and then just peeling off right away. And very quickly, and oftentimes extremely quietly. Victor here, is he going to get baited out? He swings on over, my goodness! That's a 3-piece for him, and 100 Thieves have been stopped in their tracks. Ethan, Steel, and Nitro now, as Nitro is brought back from the dead, resurrected. We see an elbow peek around those arches, and Mummy trying to do some damage. He can't do enough. Could there be some gas left in the tank here for 100 Thieves on this particular round?
Well, Victor's still alive, and he's still got a curveball. So he's going to be in a good position to hold this push through a main. And that's where all of 100 Thieves are congregated right now. They're trying to deal with somebody by Gen, but there's nobody there. Tree shut from Caboose. He doesn't want to deal with any flanks. He just wants the direct confrontation.
And Caboose is waiting for it in the smoke, thinking he's being clever, not quite clever enough, and now we find ourselves in a 2v2. This looked terrible for 100 Thieves, and yet they have life after death. Trying to find intel for Crashies as he's going to buy some time for FNS to pop up. Ethan drops because of that, so Nitro, who was brought back from the dead, he's going to have to grab the spike, and with those 20 seconds remaining, make something work of it. Fakes out a plant in and amidst the smoke. There goes the drone. This is information that could have been so helpful. They're still going to wait. Now he's in the midst of the smoke. Getting it down. Will they be able to get on him at the moment? That's the real question. Sees one, but no!
Incognito. So, despite that nice try, Envy are finally starting to rack up some rounds here. Super important. Like you said, Parker, make or break. I think they've made it, but they could still break it.
Well, certainly the money situation is better for Envy, which is great for them. There's an ulti being trotted out by Sova. Finesse first kill. He takes Asuna out of action. Asuna gone. Ethan now as well will join him. Nitro from the back of the site. He'll emerge. Shuts down Crashies. As you know, to his left, just in the midst of smoke, there's a gaggle of Envy players. His eyes are towards Market. Astra will go on, possibly drop some stars. Does Nitro have any intel? I'm very curious to know.
Looks like the answer is no, as FNS will take him down from behind. Now it's just Steel and Hiko, and they're both on B main lane. It's not a great opportunity to push out from here as the smokes are disrupting their view. 40 seconds left, so there's plenty of time to work with, but still, I mean, you're dealing with Mummy on the operator here by defender spawn. He's going to be holding down the cross. You don't have a lot of utility. In fact, you have basically none.
30 seconds
Alarm bot for Steel, but that's really it.
I've got the Phoenix of Victor over on A just in case B main is not where these remaining members of 100 Thieves want to go. If they decide that they want to try something a little bit different, well, they can go towards A. They're running out of time, though. There's only going to be 10 seconds for them to be able to get the spike down. And here comes the Phoenix of Victor. Shut down. That's going to be a Phantom in the hands of Steel. He's just going to look to save, possibly do some damage, as he knows this round is unwinnable at this point. And the clock gets past the point of no return for 100 Thieves, so he will hang on to that Phantom and wait as Envy
of it. He just wasn't met with any of his teammates because they were stuck by B main. They couldn't push out because of the utility from Mummy. So great job from the Astra Mummy locking down that push, and great job to Envy in general denying the aggressive play to support Nitro in sight.
I think there might be somebody past that archway as we talked about before, as you see a hot hands go out, as well as a curveball. Mummy gets shoved off of his spot in tree and continuing forward as 100 Thieves. It puts FNS a little bit farther back. Showstopper from Caboose, and then taking matters into his own hands. It's a gunplay to kill Ethan as well. Asuna, one for 100 Thieves. The spike going down, doorway closed, re-entry for Caboose denied, and he'll run face first into an ice wall. This is going to be hard for him, but he'll open the pathway for Victor to just march on in, and that's exactly what he'll do. Envy taking back control of this site. Victor now going for it. He gets one. That's all of them. Goodness gracious, this man gets away with it, and he's got the spike now too. He's looking.
Because the aggression's been working out, just pushing up on Catwalk definitely worked last time, but you can make this this early pick happen on B main, and it'll help you out a lot.
Well, it's going to slow down any potential push on out as Steel loses almost all of his HP. Thank goodness you've got Ethan there to try and get you back to full health, as that operator could have been a very poor investment given the fact that Steel was so hurt. Now he's down for the count, by the way. So we're not actually going to get to see the operator in action at all. Now heading up through mid. FNS is there to capitalize. That spike down as well. Asuna and Hiko will need to go retrieve it. In this particular instance, Asuna is the first one there, but he misses his opportunity. He'll go for a pop flash. He's got two bodies from Envy in front of him. He can't do anything to either, so Hiko will need to take matters. Victor's going to join him now, as 100 Thieves don't want this one to be equal as the second half begins. Asuna healing back as there's an orb in front of him that's going to act as a bit of a line of sight breaker. Won't be able to see too much. Whether he'll fall back or not, that's the real question. Trigger discipline from FNS lasts for about a second before he gives his position away, and he can't do anything on it. Asuna there, he'll grab one. Looking for the next one for FNS, but he runs it back, and FNS is just better in that regard. So the two remaining members for Envy in this final round, of which 100 Thieves on attack have won 6 of these 11 rounds so far, looking to add to a 7th. Well, the two members from Envy are going to have to get over to the B site, because that's where the spike is going down. Through the wall, relatively common spot. Mummy is trying to do any damage that he possibly can. They're going to be smoked off on one angle, and it sounds like Omen wants to reposition. FNS is down for the count, and a drone will spot Mummy. He can't really save. I mean, this one is essentially over as he goes a little bit off step. Mummy gets away, but I mean, unless you can really do something here, there's no point in saving. Round is over. The half is going to be over. 100 Thieves are going to take it. Mummy, are you going to bother to engage? No, you might as well use it if you've got it. That pistol's out.
Well, to be frank, Envy had been doing it for pretty much the entire half, and finally 100 Thieves read that play so easily that they're confident, that's for sure. Again with the aggressive play, this time it's going to be Asuna trying to peek out from A.
He loses the fight to Victor. Now these two pistol rounds, they tend to go hand in hand. If they can be translated over by Envy, we are back to a 7-7. We've got some breathing room with Asuna being out of the equation. They'll slow down for a bit. You don't need to hurry. Pistol rounds tend to go one of two ways that we've observed so far. Either it's an all-out brawl that lasts 25 seconds, or teams take quite a while to find something that they like and then try to translate that to a victory.
Envy are much slower than 100 Thieves on these executes, that's for darn tootin'. Ethan trying to push up, and he's going to fall back. Victor will catch him, though, before he can escape, and the curveball will net 2. So it's actually Nitro going down first, then Ethan. Now it's just Steel and Hiko, and they'll have to retake into this 4 versus 2.
He'll heal himself back up with the Killjoy by his side. 100 Thieves were successful on those first 2 pistol rounds back in the first half Right now, this round seems to be quite firmly in Envy's category unless something goes horribly awry. Alt Steel and Hiko will retake side by side. They are above on Heaven. Are they aware that there's somebody down below? That's the question. Hiko could possibly turn his back. Nice shot onto Mummy, but he gets taken out by Victor, who's got 4 kills. No ace potential as Steel drops him, but
Gave Envy good control by A. The retake potential was pretty limited after that. Now, as we go into the second round here, obviously 100 Thieves on the back foot. It'll be a straight mid push for Envy.
Victor's going to be on the hero buy right now, but he's blinded. Asuna goes down. Caboose with the Spectre. Better than that. Victor tapping away. Long range. Good thing he's got the Phantom in his hands. It punishes Hiko for that. And swung on another for Victor. Up top as he'll heal himself. Doing a little bit of damage to Caboose in the process. Nitro in the middle of the smoke. Could he possibly have an impact on this round? He gets out of there. Keep in mind, the Omen smokes, you can see through them, but he's a second off the pace. He takes one down. Crashies trades him out. Any trades will favor Envy for the remainder of this round. And if they trade out Steel, well...
For a main, and it's just going to be a gaggle of attackers pushing their way in. 100 Thieves are ready for this, though, and they're going to receive it well as they win out on the trades, dominating that engagement. The flank from Catwalk not working out great. Mummy is the last alive, and he's going to try something here with the smoke, but nah.
See, the likelihood of 100 Thieves taking this round and then the round after increases significantly, which is enough to put them within striking distance. And because of the way that the system works in terms of rewarding teams with credits, it means that Envy might be digging themselves a bigger and a bigger hole. Now, here's the good news for them. They've taken Nitro out of the equation on the A site, and they have control as well, as Victor looks to try to stop anybody from heading up towards Heaven. There's Finesse on flank. Beautiful shot on the Steel. Stops him in his tracks. Spike, though, has not gone down. Not just yet. Mummy's going to go on. Crashies and FNS very far back. They trade out. 100 Thieves finally find themselves on the board, but they are still in a 2v3. Things could change very quickly. Information in hand for Hiko. 2 kills for him. Crashies now will need to win it for his team. He sees Ethan jiggle peek around, but this is where things are going to be so tough. He's trapped. He has to dodge it as best as he can. All the while, Ethan is on that spike. His own ult comes out, and they're just going to trade back and forth, trying his best. Line him up. His damage being done in time. Crashies detected. He'll have to retake, but Hiko on it. Nice shot for him, but he's not going to be able to get to Hiko in time. Not one bit.
Ended up working better for Crashies than I expected, but it still didn't work out in the end in terms of the round result. What an occasion there for both teams. Credit to Asuna for forcing the reposition, again, with his molly for that spike, not letting it get planted for long.
An upper hand now is for 100 Thieves as they start another round on good footing. This time it's Caboose who's down for the count. You're not going to be able to rely on the Raze at all. No ability to push the remaining players out of uncomfortable nooks and crannies. And obviously, a kill or two for Caboose could have got that that showstopper up. I almost called it a playmaker, but then I realized that, I mean, it is a playmaker, but it is also very much a showstopper. Meanwhile, in Market, Crashies is being pushed back. He's by the doorway as the shock darts will go out in front of him, and he now has an entry towards B as there goes the doorway.
Push up on mid, working for 100 Thieves. They'll take down Crashies. Of course, you expect them to take this one since the economy for Envy is absolutely devastated right now. We do have some Sheriffs, and there is one Spectre on FNS, though. He's got a little bit of armor. It'll be a rotate for 100 Thieves as they start pushing for 100 Thieves as they start pushing back over to A, where Envy has managed to get that spike plant. So good economy from them in this round, despite not being likely to win it.
All 3 players from 100 Thieves that are on the back of the site are all up in Heaven, and that's where Envy needs to go.
3 rounds away from locking this one out, and you can't let any more rounds slip by.
The one thing going in favor of Envy is their ult usage. They can do some damage on the site by cutting it off. That's in Mummy's hands with Astra. You've also got the ability to scout out, possibly get a kill with it, as well as Victor is able to live, but he's not. No, he gets flashed, and Asuna drags him down. 100 Thieves once again get that opening pick. They immediately pull back. Caboose was the first one to die in the previous round. This time, Victor. And unfortunately for fans of Envy, those are devastating losses for the team.
Yeah. And that's that, patented single lane aggression from 100 Thieves that we see so commonly, where they will peek out somewhere. This time it's Cat. It works out well. The alarm bot gets good information on the Envy push up through mid. Steel will lose that fight, but he's still alive and he's still got his lockout, so he can just straight down or straight, excuse me, lockdown, and he could straight lock out the players from B site if he chooses to. Aggressive push there from FNS is met by Nitro, and that's not going to be an easy push into tree. The smoke definitely making that less than ideal. Nitro does die there, but he helped win all those engagements for his team.
Crashy's recon bolt destroyed as he tries to enter the A site, and he's got a wall of fire in front of him. The time running out right now on the attackers and running out on Envy's chances on this map. Spike surrendered as well. A nice shot from Mummy, but he'll have to quick peek the Sage just to his left over by the doors. Instead, he's wary of somebody being up towards Hep. He's right, by the way, to look up in that direction. And guess what Mummy's going to do again? He's going to save. Trying to win a round in this economy? We'll back away and save for a brighter future as Nitro is brought back, and well, there you go.
Crashies. He'll bring a Spectre. Better than nothing, and it can definitely work in these situations. Just trying to lay down some cover fire there. Hiko stopping the push in through Garage, and with that push stopped, NV are setting up once again for mid pressure. They've been doing this a lot. It hasn't been working great for them, but who knows? Maybe this is the round.
Shooting away right next to that lobster that's spray painted on the wall.
Yep.
It doesn't even faze you that it's very clearly a dog. But
and no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You need to look at the battle pass. Regardless. There's a lockdown that's going down. It'll hit the halfway mark. Austin decides to push up, losing his fight to Victor. These two Phoenixes have just been going head to head quite reliably, and they've been instrumental for their teams so far. We talked about how much was available in terms of ultimates. That's going to be a run it back from Victor as he heads in. Looks one way, gets finished off by Nitro, who swings out onto Caboose, gets the kill. There's another lockdown, by the way. These Killjoys, they just love trading it back and forth to kill all the joy and all the movement that you can find. 100 Thieves getting their licks in on the scoreboard. It's leaving FNS in a 1v1. Nobody detained, and he walks right into Nitro's waiting arms. Frag, but still, that could have been an easy early pick, and Caboose could have still been upright.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Envy, and having that gun down is definitely going to hurt. But Asuna, of course, also traded out, so it's something. Plant going down here because of the Cosmic Divide. This could be good for Envy.
They don't have any sound nor intel. Of course, it was a penny-pinching round for Envy. Nitro playing close to that divide. He spots Victor. Victor's a better shot. Hiko and Ethan will need to come back to the site. Ethan tries to, gets punished by the operator in the hands of Mummy, and now Hiko may just want to save, but
you don't have to worry about pushing out the entirety of the A site because of that divide, and it worked out great.
See, it's a lobster. Looks exactly like a lobster. Anyway,
I didn't know what you were talking about, Parker. I had no idea what you're.
There.
I was just backing you up because that's what good partners do.
Thank you very much. Well, I appreciate it. I couldn't ask for a better partner than you, Michael. Thank you. Well, the opening pick has been so crucial for these teams, and I don't know why they don't clear out mid at all, but Austin is going to run it back, and they bait him out. Oh, but 100 Thieves is there, and they shut them down one by one by one. It's a fall between these two teams.